Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here coming at you with another video, and I am over on Fjordor and I have been scouting for hours, way too many hours. But anyways, I want to show you I have found over 50 PvP base locations with tons of places you can go, rat holes, giant areas, all kinds of different styles of bases that you can put in each one of these areas. Now, they're basically what you're looking for in the PvP sect is it's hard to raid. That's the easiest thing. So you got to make it some way hard to raid. So each one of these base locations is out of the way, sort of like you see right here. If you go to the following coordinates, I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. I'm going to show you the chords for all of these, 0.000 and 71.7 inside of the lower green zone. You can actually pretty much go to any corner like you see right here and build a nasty base location because you're at the ceiling tile, so no one can get above you. You can put some turrets that stick out over the edge, and it would be very difficult to raid you in this zone. Now, I would say you can pretty much do this anywhere in this entire zone. I would count this as like 30 base locations, but I'm not going to go through and show you each one individually because they're all powerful. You just got to find a little area like this one, little alcove, because you can land in all of them and build in them. So that's all you got to do. So this is spot number one. Pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and show you another 50. So let's go ahead and get to it. It's going to take some time. Yeah, I guess in case you were curious, that's all of them. Pretty crazy. So we're going to go ahead and go to PvP spot 1, which is, I have no idea which one it is because 1 is going to be the hardest one to find. That's fun. I didn't even think this through. 1, there it is. Okay. So if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, if only 10% of the people that watch this video subscribe to my channel, it would mean a ton. That would be so awesome. And I mean, obviously I'd love for more than that, but that's kind of just how it is. So anyways, spot number 1, here's the chords, 45.7, 60.6, and this is inside of the Remembrance Cave or whatever you'd like to call it. Basically, you can house this entire thing off, and it depends on whether you're on official or not. And you can see right here, tons of awesome stuff. This is like his cave that he built in order to host everything. People that have helped him, people that have shown off the map, so on and so forth. And there is some really awesome stuff about this area. You can kind of travel all over the place. Lots of names, lots of open rooms. Depends whether you're on official and stuff where you can actually build, but a great spot in general. So let's go to PvP spot 2. Which is going to be another one that's difficult to find in all likelihood because I have, yep, there we go. So PvP spot 2. There we go. All right, so the following coordinates is where you want to go, 93.5, 11.6, and the reason that you want to go here is because this is inside of the cave nearby, and right here, again, there's the chords, and I want you to go to this specific spot because you can get a two-way small doorway entrance with a giant metal hole right here. You can also take this spot entirely if you wanted to. I wouldn't because I'd save the metal for yourself. You can literally block off that end right there and block off this end over on the other side. And all you have to do is go down into the Desmodus Cave or the Dwarven Ruins Cave, whichever you'd prefer to call it. It is very easy to find. You just have to go literally into this giant area right here. Pretty cool. There's a bunch of base locations in here that I'm actually going to show you that are just like hidden and tucked out of the way. But it's a very cool cave, and you can kind of just access all of the next following base locations by going to these chords right here, 83.4, 21.2, and that is how you get in this cave, just so you can kind of see that. And that's kind of going to be the next few base locations that we have here. So let's go to PvP 3, and maybe, there we go, so PvP 3. And this next one is another great spot that you can go to, and it's on top. Remember that metal cave that I was talking about? Yeah, so above that, there's a nice little hidey hole, literally right here, that no one is ever going to check. You can kind of build up this entire thing, and it's a very solid base location, in all honesty. I'm pretty sure there are no flyers allowed in here either, so you could easily defend this. And being up this high, no one's going to look for you anyways with no flyers. So, a small one-man, two-man, this is an easy spot to hide. No one will ever know you're here in the chords, just so you can see them again. And that's there, and there's the map. So that is a easy one. So thank you for the Mega Rabies. Really appreciate that. And let's move on to base spot 4. All right, so we're going to move on to base spot 4. All right, so again, inside of that Dwarven Ruins Cave, remember that giant room we went across? That kind of lava room? Yeah, that. So in a hidden corner up over here, There's a nice flat space that you can build in very easily, and no one will ever know you're here. Again, lack of flyers, so they'd have to somehow see you, and if you're good at what you're doing, this is a very difficult spot to locate. At the chords of 86.8, 20.6, and again, we're in that same cave system, so hopefully that's something that works for you. Again, I would probably build right along the edge of this, and it would be very difficult to follow you. Alright, so PvP base 5. Another one that is just a crazy base spot. There is only one way into this room inside of the Dwarven Cave, and you can take over this entire room in here, which is a very big area. Plenty of room for you to do whatever you want to do in here. It is a crazy amount of space, and you can just enter it by going off to the side in the main hallway at these chords right here, just so you can see again. And there is so much place you could build in here, it's a joke. Like, you could have a massive tribe in here, or you could hold it with 3 people. Not a big, not a small. It's a perfect base location. Very difficult to raid with the only one access point, and it's a great overall spot. So we're gonna go ahead and go to PvP spot 6. And loading. So this spot specifically is inside of the Rock Drake Cave, which, believe it or not, is buildable. So if you aggro the Rock Drakes up, obviously you're going to come up, but if you don't, you can actually just aggro everything away and then build in this entire tube. There is only one way in. That's it. The only entrance is right here, and you can build defenses the entire way down. Because it's coming from a down-up position, it's very difficult to raid this successfully, because a lot of trikes and stegos and stuff are going to get shot in the weaker points of their bodies. It's hard to get larger creatures in here. Titanosaur is not going to fit in here. And the entrance point, just so you can see it, 42.2, 49.1. And this cave right here will get you to the Rock Drake Cavern, and it is also, I mean, I'm telling you, it's a great defensive spot, because yes, obviously there are Rock Drakes in the bottom of this, but you have free access to Rock Drake eggs, and you control the entire thing essentially if you take this over. Yep, that's the only concern, is Rock Drakes. So that's a pretty good base spot in all honesty. You can also, if you've got a lot of turrets, pretty much take out the bottom side of this and just have your Velonosaurs take out the Rock Drakes that come nearby and stuff. But that's entirely up to you if you want to do something like that. Personally, I would just put a bunch of walls up top and take the bottom half as well. So another great base spot. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next one. I believe we were just on 6, so we're going to move into 7. That's PvE 7. Where's PvP 7? There we go. Alright, so PvP spot 7. This is in an Asgard area. So the Asgard location is a very awesome base spot. You can build pretty much everywhere in this entire cave, but I like this corner right here for a specific reason. One, you can hit the corners, and you can kind of hold multiple checkpoints right over here, and then you can also have a hold there. You can build something right on the other side over here and have a hold here. The Lightning Wyvern Canyon is right beneath you, so that's something that's pretty neato. You can do, honestly, whatever you want to do. It's up to you, but it is a great base location. Right here, yes, this is, I mean, how do you get much better than this, right? Like, obviously the Lightning Wyverns are going to be something you have to deal with, some basic stuff, but it is a great base location for larger tribes, especially because you can just kill the Lightning Wyverns and hold them off in there, and there's nothing that they can do. They're just stuck. So we're going to go to base location 8, PvP base 8. So this one is another one of those base locations that's kind of out of the way, hard to see, hard to find. So what am I talking about here? So basically this base location, everyone knows where it is, but no one's going to think to build a base in here for some reason. So at 45.2, 64.9, you will find a loot cave. Yes, this is a straight up loot cave. There will be a loot box up there, down there, and over there. But if you were to want to build in here instead, you just put up a base in here, and guess what? You have a very defendable base. Not only that, but it's very difficult to raid because you've got a whole bunch of gaps and stuff like that in there. Also, you can see that right there, spiders, but you can easily put up like 3 or 4 different large walls here in order to defend your entire base. Very useful, obviously, so that's something that you should consider. So there's the chords just so you can see them. And we're going to go to base spot number 9. So PvP spot 9, another one of those cave-style bases. You can see where I am right now. It's hidden and out of the way. The chords of this one, 29.4, 50.1, and there it is on the map. And if you go to this waterfall right here, kind of in the end, you can see me right now. Difficult to locate unless you're paying attention. Behind these rocks right here, you have a nice hidey hole right over here. Pretty nice, not a super big location, nothing that you're going to want to play a hardcore PvP on, but it's a great startup point for you, and it's a nice spot to build with plenty of room if you want that. All right, so we're going to go to spot 10. All right, 10 PvP. Next spot is another one of those that is kind of tucked out of the way. This guy right here is inside of the Fall Cave. You can see me right here. This is spot 10. These are the chords, 26.4, 40.4. And all you have to do to get here is go down this pathway right here. And this pathway will also take you to our next base location and the entrance, just so you can see 28.7, 39.8. And once you get to that spot, obviously there's a loading point. So if you can put a nice turret wall right there, people are going to have all kinds of frustration with you. So that left turn, perfect base location. And then if you go down into this, you can house this entire thing. This is our spot number 10 and pretty much, I mean, I guess 11 and like 30 other base locations. You can house this entire thing and just run it all. Never have to leave because resources, everything you need is down here, and have a massive base. You would have, there's only one way in, one way out. I mean, technically I think there's two, but anyways, so that's how you do it. It is a great spot to build a base location. Again, there's the chords for you. And it is an amazing spot to build. So that's what I would suggest. All right, PvP spot 12. Now another base location that is kind of off in this upper left corner over here. It is something that, boom, come on, let me go. There we go. So this one is a very hidden, unknown base location that nobody is going to find. It is out of the way and at these coordinates, 24.4, 20.0. It is in the middle of a very dark hallway. Yep, off to this little corner right here, and you find yourself a ridiculous base spot with plenty of room to store stuff down here. And you could just have a defensive wall right up there. Very nice, very easy to build in, and super useful to be able to have a base like this because you're off in the middle of nowhere, and that's a thing that people don't really check very often. All right, PvP spot 13. Another one of those base locations that is kind of one of those hidey holes. It is up on the snow zone right here. This one's got a much bigger entrance to it, which is kind of unfortunate. So it's more of a temporary location. If I was you, I would use it as a temporary spot. You could even put a couple of cliff platies up on high and then do it that way. But at 29.1, 22.9, you can use the map in order to locate this nice flat area. Could be used for PvP. It's probably not more of a hardcore PvP style, but again, a good spot overall. All right, PvP 14. And we'll drop eventually. If you haven't seen this before, this is Penguin Cave. Penguin Cave might be one of my favorite base locations because you've got a really cool entrance over here at 5.9, 6.6 that no one is ever going to notice is here. Yeah. It's a small entrance. Check. And it's a pretty big inside over here. And you've got penguins all over the place. And who's going to complain about penguins? I like penguins. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So, again, there's the chords for you. And we're going to move on to 15. All right, PvP spot 15. Another one of those ones that's kind of out of the way. Another cave location. You can see it right here, 8.0, 23.7. It is just a big hole cave. Now, again, keep this in mind. These are more of not for hardcore PvP games. This is more of a light PvP style right here. And you can kind of tuck it into this. But where it gets crazy and powerful is this is the entrance to one of the artifact caves. There is a ton of room in here where you can build some crazy base locations. Absolutely nuts. You've got a deep underwater area with a easy loot drop for you. You can see this is an easy way to tame these guys as well, by the way, in case you're curious. There is tons of room down here you can build in, and it goes all the way to the back. There's some death areas, some drop points, all kinds of really neat stuff. And lots of platforms. If you haven't figured that out yet, that's what I like to focus on. Easy platform bases and tuckaways like this. There is so many bases in this specific area. It'd be forever. You could stay in here forever and never leave and have a crazy number of base spots. Thank you, Mr. Wolf, for guarding that front door. So, also, we're going to move on to the next one, 16. All right, so the next base spot, another one of those tuckaways. You can see it right here. This is a 2-entrance one over in the swampland. You can see it right there. 40.7, 4.4. And this is not the best for PvP, but it's still technically a cave base, so I figured I'd show it to you guys. It's a great spot. I mean, it's over here. You don't want something big, but you can have a small fob in here, and that would not be a bad idea just to have something to run around with. So, nothing super great, but it could be worse, right? All right, 17. All right, the next base spot we have right here is inside of the swamp cave. So if you just go to the swamp cave on the other side, towards the artifact room, if you are able to build in this on your server, this is a crazy base spot. 47.0, 8.1, there's the artifact of the brute right there. You've got water down beneath, you've got all kinds of flat spaces to build. Onyx are your only danger, and this entire cave is very difficult to run because you have to have a gas mask on for almost all of it. And it's just a great spot to be, in all honesty. You can house a ton of defensive structure in here. The entire thing, you can just go up and down this and find tons of base spots. But again, I'm not going to mark, that'd be ridiculous to go up this cave and mark every single one. So I'm just going to show you the one that I think is the best for larger tribes. And you just basically find the small choke points in order to hold those, and that's how I would do it. So again, great spot. And we're going to go to base spot number 18. I think I've gotten rabies again. Yep, there we go. Obviously, that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on, but oh well. All right, spot 18. This is another one of those ones that is tucked out of the way for a solo or a two-man, all right? At 74.3 and 8.8, just to show you on the map. Yep. So this right here is another cave base. So basically, this entire cave, there's only one way up and one way down. It is the puzzle cave, just so you can see. It's right over here. You go and solve the puzzle down in there, and that's one of the artifact pathways. But over in this corner, in pretty much every corner inside of this thing, there's a ton of base locations. Or, if you're feeling gutsy, it is almost impossible to raid this base. How did you get down here? I don't even know that. All right, so in order to get up here, you have to go up this giant pathway at these coordinates right here. Specifically these coordinates. You have to go through the water and then jump your way up, which is not something that you can do very easily. So this is one of the most defendable base locations in the entire freaking game, because you got to pop out of the water, you've got to jump up this somehow. Don't know how you're going to do that or successfully get that done. Get past all of those layers of defenses probably, past all of this, into a cave, through multiple sets of walls in all likelihood. This is a crazy defendable position. Plus, you've got access to Megalania. You've got access to the Desmodus right there. You can see him all freaking out. Can we not, guys, and say we did? How's that sound, huh? Yeah, let's just not do that, okay? But it is a crazy base location because you can tuck away in one of these little corners, like I said, or you can just take this entire cave to yourself, and there's nothing anyone can do, in all honesty. Again, this is one of those ones where you could have like 10 bases out of it, but I'm just trying to get into one. All right, we just left that. So base spot 19. Come on. All right, base spot 19, another one of those ones that is tucked out of the way. I like this base spot simply because you have a whole bunch of waterfalls. This is another one of those solo hidey holes. There is a whole bunch of mini ledges here that you could just drop 1 or 2 foundations on, and then just have a small little area right here where you don't need to worry about much. And not many people are ever going to check you. Plus, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's hard to see in this unless you go first person. And there's no water technically here, so you're hidden by the waterfall. And everyone's going to check these kinds of areas, but they're not checking every single ledge. So ledge bases are very powerful, believe it or not, because people are just going to try and fly into it. And as soon as they can't fly into it, they give up. So a very simple one where I would call it just something I would check every now and then, but it's a great location to go. All right, so base spot number 20, not 29, 20. All right, this next one is another one of those mega tribe base locations only. This is not something you could hold by a few people. You would need many people in order to hold something like this. So this is at 68.5, 36.5, and basically you're going to go inside of this area right here, and this entire cave is a completely buildable location where you can have a massive base with massive underwater creatures, yep, and a couple of walls right up front. I would probably put your walls around the corners and stuff like that, so when someone walks in, they get hit from all angles, so they can't really soak with some of the more dangerous soaking animals. But it's a great base location with a ton of space to build. Ridiculous. All right, next up. So, again, all of these base locations, I tried to make them as useful as possible for anybody, but some of them are just mega tribe bases, and that's really all you can do because that's what you need. All right, so this is another one of those that's out of the way, inside of a cave system at 94.5, 86. And this is inside, again, inside of one of the cave systems. This is the Magmasaur cave. On your way down, this is the bridge, right? No one's going to think to look here, but if you duck yourself, right here, there's a nice little spot that you can hide under the bridge that is not visible from any area. You can also build it so there'd be, I mean, you'd have to drop down to raid it, but I mean, if you're only a small tribe, you're probably not going to have your loot somewhere else anyways, but this is a great little spot to have a hidey hole or an entrance into this area. It's up to you. All right, so that's spot 21. Spot number 22 is nearby as well. Okay, inside of that same cave system, the Magmasaur cave system, if I was you, I would just take over this entire cave because you can build in the entire thing. But there are also quite a few small locations like this little hole right here that kind of go up and in, and you can kind of hide your way up and in these things. And you can kind of put a bunch of stuff up here. You can put a platform up here, and I don't believe you can get any higher than I am right now, but you can technically build the entire way up into this. Very difficult to see somebody that's up in there, because how are you going to look in there? No one's going to focus on that. They're going to run past you. So this is a great spot to have a little fob, or even hold off this entire sector in here. This entire cave is a beautiful location over in the Magmasaur area, and you just run down that Magmasaur cave, and that's just, I mean, it's just a massive area in all honesty. So you can do whatever you want with it, but it's up to you. Now the next one, again, inside of the Magmasaur cave, another hidey hole. So you can kind of put a couple of small things up in here. And again, this is more of a outpost or a small 1x1 you could build up in a section like this at 90.9, 95.6 inside of the Magmasaur cave. And it's just tucked out of the way, just like you can see here. There's the Magmasaurs. Yeah, don't get angry at me. I'm right here. I didn't do anything to you. Cool. So anyways, you can tuck yourself out of the way and no one would ever know. That's the point of a base like this. All right, spot number 24. Another one of those that's kind of tucked out of the way, but I think it's an awesome location. You can see it right here. This entire cave, artifact cave, obviously, 90.6, 79.0, and you can take the entire thing because it's buildable. It's a long tube, so you can have plenty of defensive walls with a very buildable area in here. You can build on all of the walls. You can build on all of the space here. Yep, all of it. I don't want to get mega rabies again, so I'm not going to hold still for them. But there's plenty of buildable space in a cave like this. And again, there's the cords for you so you can see. And you can just enter this and then build the entire way down. So that is a great spot to build. Up to you, obviously, if you take a spot like that, you have to have more people because it's going to be harder to defend, but that's up to you. All right, so 25. A little bit to load that time, huh? All right, so 56.7, 84.7 is another cave system, and it's right over here, just so you can see. I'm kind of showing you the entire area. This is the Aberrant Cave. Come on. You could hold this entire cave, and as long as you had a few lines of defense right here, this entire cave system is massive. There's only one way in, one way out, and you could have a ton of space in here, and even just build right here and then use the back system as like a loot cave because there's a whole bunch of loot drops and stuff like that over there. It's a great spot to hold. Oh man. And that's the frustrating thing you're experiencing right now. This lag point, not my favorite. So up to you whether you use that or not, but again, 26. All right. Next up is spot number 26. This is another cave system. You can see me. There are two entrances to this one. 60.3, 79.6. There it is on the map, just so you can see. And you enter through this waterfall right here, and it's a massive cave system. There are two entrances, so it'll be harder to hold, but this one's much smaller. But river. We all know how to raid bases on rivers. Just bring your boat up to the front door. But because this is not technically water right here, you can't put a boat down. You can actually hold a defense on this one pretty easily. It's a massive cave, lots of room, plenty of building. Again, probably going to need a bigger tribe to hold something like this, but not a bad overall base location in all honesty. So it's another great cave location. All right, PvP spot number 27. All right. And here we go. So another cave base. This is one that I've built in before. I like this upper lip that you have right here mixed with all of this with only one entrance. Yes, it is a large entrance, but really, if you have enough turrets that are up high, it's very difficult to raid a base like this, especially if you have like a cliff platy up on the backside, which is where you house your base and stuff like that. It's not an easy base to raid. You have all kinds of access to resources nearby, so you cannot complain about that either. It's just a great overall base. And again, there's the cords for you. And that's 27. All right, we're going to move on to PvP base 28. All right, PvP base 28 is another one of those ones that's tucked out of the way. It is another hidden cave, 19.9, 96.5. And basically it's just a one-way entrance cave. This is a great base spot because of the hard way to get in it. So it's hidden behind a waterfall, right? That no one's even going to think about. It's very difficult to even know this is here. And inside of this waterfall is a great base spot. Absolutely fantastic. I don't even think you can fit a Triceratops or a Stego in this. It's just walkable. So it's kind of almost crouch cave. So not too bad at all. And then again, there's the cores, 28. Unless someone's watching videos, they're not finding this. Nobody finds this. I accidentally found this because I glitched through a wall. That's how I found this cave. So the chords of it, just so you can see again, right there. Plenty of room for a mid-sized tribe, though, so you could easily build something pretty nice in there. All right, spot 29. All right, spot number 29, just so you can see 16.8, 91.6. It's another one of those super frustrating areas that you just find it accidentally. Another waterfall. This one is hidden inside of the lake right here. And the entrance, just so you can see it, 18.3, 92.0. Boom. You go in there and you find yourself another tuckaway. It's a bear cave. You got yourself a bear cave, a free bear cave on your own. Plenty of room to build a smaller mid-sized tribe in here. Nothing massive, but a smaller mid-size can easily fit in a cave like this. What spot was that? 29? Okay. Now we are on to spot 30. So, a lot of the... Did I really have two 30s labeled? Whatever. Bonus bases! So, another one of my favorites. I think you guys have already figured this out already. Building in waterfalls is one of my favorite things to do. 9.6, 81.7. Building on the ledge is... I mean, if you're only a solo player, you can build up in an area like this right here. It's one of my favorite spots. You can't see this. You'd have to accidentally fall into this. You're not going to check behind this. But if you're paying attention, like, you'd have to have someone that's really looking hard in order to find you. And most ARK people aren't going to look that hard. They're going to be lazy. They're going to look for videos. They're going to look for this. They're going to look for that in order to locate you. So it's one of my favorite base locations to go to something like this. So let's check out the other 30, though. Because I think I probably shifted it up a little bit. Yep. So another one right next to base 30. And I'm going to go ahead and go up right here. This is a cave. 9.9, 84.3. This, oh boy, lag. There it goes. Okay, so this is another one of those cave systems that you can easily hold. The entire thing is buildable, and you can hold the entire friggin' thing. Okay, there is a ton of points where there's only one or two entrances to it. Only one or two. And by that I mean the only entrance into the entire cave system is right up there. So you just go down that, and as long as you have enough turrets here, nobody's going to break this. No one. No one. There is nobody in the world that's going to have patience to do that. I wouldn't. I can't think of somebody. Plus, you've got lag points like that all over the place. Good freaking luck. Not happening. Nobody's going to do that. All right, 31. We're getting towards some of the more powerful base locations in the entire game. All right, so another cave right here, 12.3, 74.0. Lots of room. Unfortunately, the entrance is rather large into this cave, so it's going to be easy to kind of hit. But if you have enough defenses, you should be able to hold for a little bit. Plus, high walls, always really useful. You can see there's access to all kinds of stuff down here. Water, love it. Love water access. Plant Species X is one of the worst things to try and raid somebody when that hits you. And again, you can see 12.1, 74.3. And it's just a big cave. I like these kind of bases. That's just what I like. All right, so that's 31. Let's go to 32. All right, base location 32. Another small person cave. You have to only have one, maybe two, maybe three people holding a cave like this because it's out of the way and you're kind of not going to try and extend too far out. But it's just a little hidden cave that's out of the way that someone will eventually run into. But with enough defenses, it probably won't be worth their time. 8.4, 70.3, and that's that for you. PvP base 33. All right, PvP base 33, 11.3, 49.6, just so you can see it on the map right now. Yeah, that's it. This is an amazing spot. So basically inside of this cave, here's the entrance point, 13 and 49. You have a massive cave in here where a ton of people could hold this and only one entrance. Again, one entrance, small entrance, massive cave. Could be a huge tribe you put in here. Could be a medium tribe. Would be harder to hold on 1 or 2 man. But this cave is very nice to try and hold with a larger size tribe for sure. And there's the cords just so you can see it again. All right, 34. We're going to have to change the time of day as well. Set time of day. 10 o'clock, so it's not dark again. So this base, there's about 400 bases in here, and that's a little bit of an exaggeration. There's a lot, okay? So this is a massive cave at PvP 34. My cords, just so you can see them, 12.5, 62.5. And inside of this massive cave, okay, massive, you have a ton of spots. If you want to just hold the front entrance, fine, do that. If you have a huge tribe, you can hold this cave. This thing is huge. You have small little hidey holes on the sides, just like this. Either side of this, nothing. I mean, you wouldn't put a major tribe in here, but you could easily hold it. You've got tons of access down at the bottom, okay? And you have 2 massive rooms. This one back here, yes, this entire thing. You could hold this entire room with only this entrance right here, and no one's ever getting in here. Let's be honest. You could have a whole bunch of turrets hanging from the ceiling, from the left and right walls, and they would get hit from every angle as they walked in here. There is nothing somebody could do about that. They would just get blown away. A couple rock elementals, so you knock people down into lava. Good luck. Good luck raiding a base like this in these cords. Just not going to happen. And then my personal favorite in this room, this is just, I don't even know what to call this. It is epic on a different level. You have a massive area down there with plenty of room for water. You have a metal run for free on the backside of your base. You have a huge cave to hold yourself in. You've got small buildings to have rooms for individual things with just organization out the wazoo. You can have a defensive structure on the front. You can have a defensive structure in the middle. And you can have a defensive structure on the backside at these cords right here. It's a bonkers cave. If someone's not building in there, that I don't know what map you're playing, because this is insane. I would literally just like early game, hold that, and then move my way up and just take over everything so they just can't even raid you if they wanted to. One of the best cave bases in the entire game, without a doubt. And again, there's like 4 in there. 4 major spots that you could take over, even split it with some of your allies. All right, cave base 35. All right, so this one is a kind of solo player, hidden out of the way, little hidey hole that no one's ever going to check on the side of the map in the middle of nowhere. Here's your cords. 6.2, 54.0. If I'm a solo player, I'm building in something like this where I'm out of the way. I can put my stuff under the water so no one's even going to know it's there. And I might have one thing that's above ground, like over here cooking my metal or something like that. No way someone's finding you. Not unless they watch a video or just stumble because they're someone like me that just goes all around the map for fun. Which is not very common for a lot of people. They're lazy. But again, this is just one of those solar places out of the way. Alright, so 36. Alright, base 36. Again, this is one of those ones that is a cave base. It is a beautiful spot. Oh man. Loading. Loading. Alright, 20.9, 57.3, artifact cave as well, so most servers you can build in an area like this. You put a defensive structure in here, nobody's raiding you. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. I don't know of anybody that can successfully raid somebody through a lava stream. You have to jump in order to get past all this stuff. And you can literally have a crazy amount of defense right here, right here, so the line hits right here, and if they try and raid you, they just get knocked off the edge. You could build such a base in here that it's a joke. You'd have to defend yourself from only wild creatures. So having a couple plant species X on wilds would be a great idea. And you can have some massive, massive defensive buildings in this structure like this. There are 2 ways, and you can see that there are 2 massive rooms in here. Again, you'd have to clear out that kind of stuff, but you've got loot in here. You've got anything you could possibly need. If you are feeling gutsy, like I think that many people do, you could build your base right here and kind of just build a big old structure right there with a defensive wall, and then just enter the backside in order to do like artifact runs and everything, and you control that. So that's pretty cool. Massive, massive potential for some crazy bases in there, and I think we're going to get some of those crazy bases in all honesty, because it's a great spot to build in. 21.0, 57.4. All right, so now we're moving into some of the ones that are end game. You're holding this for a long time kind of base. All right, so this one right here, 7.3, 34.3, right? This is a bonkers base location, okay? You have to drop down into it because you can hold this entire cave. And I just want to show you something. So this entire cave system, right? You can access it pretty easily by going through the normal snow cave route and just going down here, and you drop down into the artifact. You can hold this entire cave without any problems at all because they're small entrance areas, and this right here, you've got areas like that I'm in right now that have just it's going to be hard to get there, let alone run this entire cave and then have to fight. No thanks, man. No freaking thanks. There are some crazy spots in here, okay? Now, again, I'm going to show you this. There's the artifact cave, right? This is how you're supposed to go. Like, look at this spot, okay? So you'd have to get up here, probably past the turret wall. And this is that's the only way in that I just came up through, by the way. That's the only way in. There's no other way in. And it's just a giant tube with safety. You've got some Perlovias in here. The amount of opportunity you have for a crazy base in an area like this is just insane. So, okay, really? Thank you. So 3.8, 32.7. If you go into this cave system, this is how you're going to find one of my, like, you don't raid this. There is no way to raid this. If you build your defenses good enough, there's just not a way. It's not possible because you have a defensive line here, and then maybe you have it a little tucked in. Someone's going to have to, like, without flying, mind you, without flying, land up here, not get knocked down, raid. There's no way. It just doesn't happen. Not without cheating, at least. And it's just bonkers to me that's a thing. So that's one of our base locations right there. And again, you've got all these runes all over the place, so make sure you pick those up because those are super powerful. All right, 39. All right. So this is another one of those base locations that is a artifact cave that could turn into something really cool. 8.0, 38.3. If you go into the entrance to the cave at that cord that I just gave you, and there's the loading point, you can see it right there. You have an entrance into a small area, probably can only fit like maybe one Taman here at a time, where you can put some very nice defenses in here. And then have yourself a nice little room right here, and you've got to duck down on the backside into a cave. Look at this. Crazy. Crazy. You've got another cave system that you can just hold. This is nice. And I'm not going to tell you the secret about this one, but you'll have to figure that out on your own. But you can hold this thing very successfully without any effort at all. And you can even put something in here, like there's some bars, but you can fit things in there. You could hold this entire section with only a few turrets and not have any problem at all. There's the chords of it for you, just so you can see. Let's go to spot number 40. All right. Come on, load. There we go. Now we're at it. This is probably going to be one of the most powerful spots in most, whether you're playing unofficial or official. It depends on where you can build. 31.7, 65.5, and here you go. This is, I believe it's called Helm's Deep. I don't know if he technically called it that for purposes, or for whatever purposes, but this entire base location, you can build like 3 things on the outside, and then you can tuck it away on the inside over here. That's your door, right? Second door. Third door, tube, fourth door, massive base location under the ground. This could be a huge tribe that holds something like this, and nobody's going to get to you because you've got small areas that it's very hard to raid through something like this. If you've got a couple of turrets set up, there's a lot of corners that even you can't throw something out in because it's too small. So that the amount of opportunity for this base is nuts. Now let's say you want to be a little sneaky, right? Down here, everyone's going to focus up there. Down here is another great base location. Super flat, big old cave entrance, and a long tube, so you can just sit here, have a nice little death wall right here. And what's somebody going to do? You just build a nice little death area with some traps and stuff like that, some turrets coming out of the walls. Nothing you can do. It's a very defendable base spot. This entire thing is just beautiful. This map is filled with crazy base spots. I'm sure there are rat holes all over the place that I haven't even bothered to discover yet that are just, you know, covering the area. I'm pretty sure that's the last one. Pretty sure. So, anyways, that is, and each one of these base locations has like 2 or 3. So that is more than 50 different locations that you can build on this map successfully for PvP, depending on what you have. If there's anything else you want to see, make sure you comment below. Leave a like if you checked out the video, and obviously you did because you probably heard me say this. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that would mean a ton, and it would help out a lot. If you're looking for a discount on running your own servers, G-Portal. If you look beneath, there's a link for 5% off for them. I run with them. They are great. They have always, but there's never been really anything wrong, and they're always willing to help me when I need some help. It is fantastic. So hopefully this video helped you out. And if there's anything that you want, make sure you put it in the comments below. All right, Teach out.